Yes, sir.
Anushka Kadam. Anushka. What happened for Anushka Kadam? Anushka, are you present? Rishikesh.
Present, sir.
Sahil Borke.
Present, sir.
Suresh Indulkar.
Present, sir. Suresh Indulkar present.
What happened for Anushka? Can you see this board?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Again, some resolution issues are there. Everything in a perfect, clear fashion. I am unable to see. Some internet issues are always troubling us. And these internet issues are beyond our capacity. Okay. So, meanwhile, you have to bear with us. In available constraint, we are trying to work hard and hard. Okay, friends. So on that day, I took one problem related to concurrent coplanar force system. It was solved fully. Again, on your group also, it was posted so that based on that, it was thought that you will solve some more problem. So have you worked for some of the problems? Yes, Mr. Sresh, Rishikesh, Haridas. Abhishek, have you solved some problems at home?
Yes.
Swish, Indulkar, Sahil Deshmukh. Why you are not responding? Jyoti Pawar. Hello, Jyoti.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Have you attempted some of the problems at home? Aditya Jadhav. Om Gharat.
Yes, sir.
Have you solved problem at home?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I will start for today's session. Yesterday you have seen first problem related to concurrent coplanar force system. In continuation with that, today we will discuss another problem related to coplanar force system, that is problem related to parallel coplanar force system. So, please write in your notebook the wording of the problem. Determine number 1 resultant. Determine number 1 single resultant force. Determine number 1 single resultant force. Number 2 an equivalent couple force at A. An equivalent couple force at A. What is problem? Look for this. This is a straight horizontal rod. Some forces are acting on this rod. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and last force, that is number 4. This is called as the like parallel coplanar force system. It may be problem related to like, or it may be problem related to unlike. Steps involved remains same. There's no much change. Look for that. Magnitude of this force are considered as 200 Newton. This is 300 Newton. This is 500 Newton. And this equals to 100 Newton. These are the magnitude of the forces. This is point A, this is point B, point C, and point D. These are the points. These forces are acting at the points. That's why these forces are called as point loads or point forces. Okay. Then, distances I will say. This I can call as 2 meter. This
Hello,
equals
sir.
to 1 meter.
Sir,
And last distance equals to 3 meter. These are the distances.
sir,
Okay. So total, yes.
we can't see anything, sir. Screen is very blurry. Very blurry.
I think some resolution issue is there. Please try to bear with us. Okay. Now it will take some time. So everything along with forces I am explaining, don't worry. First force is 200 Newton. Second is 300 Newton. You can write in your notebook. Third is 500 Newton. And last is 100 Newton. These points are A, B, C, and D. Distances between these are 2 meter, 1 meter, and 3 meter. That you can write in your notebook if you are unable to see properly. Okay. What is your first step? Your first step is to resolve forces into their x and y component. Friends, in case of parallel force system, that step is not needed or not required. Why? Because forces are always either parallel to x-axis or parallel to y-axis. You don't have to worry. So first step is not required. It's good. Second, you have to take algebraic addition of forces along the x-axis. Right. These forces are parallel to y-axis. There is no force parallel to x-axis. That's why that step is also not required. It's good. First step has gone. Second has also gone. Then come to third. Third step is what? Take algebraic summation of forces along y-axis. So directly you have to jump for summation of Fy. So what you have to write? By taking algebraic summation of forces along y-axis. That is summation of Fy.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
सर सर काहीच
Yes,
दिसत
but
नाहीये. काहीच दिसत नाहीये, सर.
it is problem for you or for all?
For all, I guess.
Yes, sir, for all.
Yes, sir, for all.
Just
For all.
one.
For all, sir. सगळ्याला दिसत नाही.
बाहेरचं टेबल असेल सोळा एमबीपीची स्क्रीन चालते
असल्याच्या टप्प्याला Can you see now? Hello?
Out बंद आहे वाचते. ते out बंद. Selling the papers.
Hello? Hello, students?
सर
Now is it okay?
नाही सर क्लिअर दिसत नाही.
सर स्क्रीन इज नॉट एडिबल.
Hmm?
स्क्रीन इज लाव.
नाही सर. सर स्क्रीन दिसत आहे पण ब्लर दिसत आहे.
सर
I think here I can see very clearly.
कॅमेरा पुसून बघा.
Clear आहे.
It's very perfect here.
Video. Resolution कमी केला. आता आता
Please check now. Hello? Now is it okay?
नाही सर. नो सर.
सर
Internet पण आलं का आता? मला पण दिवस असं क्लिअर करतो. नाही नाही इथं चेक करा सर इथं. आता इथे एकदा.
Please check now. Hello?
नाही सर नाही.
A second division?
नो सर.
Okay, fine, good. I think here I can see, even with other handset I confirm, everything is perfect. आएगा? Now I think it's clear. Okay? Okay, fine.
No, sir.
Whatever it may be, we will not waste time. I'll proceed ahead. Okay. And by chance, if some problem arises, please inform me. Accordingly, I will start my PPT version. Don't worry. I have kept all options open for you. Okay, my PPTs are ready. Only thing is, it is slightly difficult to explain everything on PPT. Okay, fine. Look for that. This is a problem related to parallel coplanar force system. Total 4 forces are given. all are acting in downward direction. We have to find out
सर
resultant
सर
force. Yes.
सर बिलकुल काहीच दिसत नाहीये.
काय परत मुलं ओरडायला आहे, त्यामुळे बंदच केलं.
आजचं माझ्या क्लासचं किती बारीक
किती clear? हो,
किती मोठं
हो.
लिहितात. मी तेच म्हटलं.
Now can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Now I think there is no problem at all. Okay? Okay, so don't worry. I started second option. Can you see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello. I'm audible to you?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, students. So already I explained one problem related to concurrent coplanar force system. This is also one more problem related to concurrent coplanar force system. Just look for the wording. Three coplanar forces acts at a point on a bracket. Determine the angle alpha such that the resultant of three forces will be vertical. Also find the magnitude of the result. Carefully look for this problem. Yesterday, one problem related to concurrent coplanar force system already you have seen. This is one more problem. Our yesterday's problem was very straightforward. It was asked to find out result. Carefully look for this. Here, three coplanar forces act at a point on a bracket. Determine the angle alpha such that the resultant of three forces will be vertical. One condition related to resultant is provided that resultant is vertical. Resultant is vertical means its direction is defined. You don't have to search either it is in first quadrant, second, third, or fourth. It is vertical, it is defined. With one idea, that is data related to direction is provided to you. And then it is asked to find out the result. Okay, look for that. Carefully check all these three forces. 80 Newton, its inclination with x-axis is alpha. Two 40 Newton forces are given. One force is along positive x-axis, second is in fourth quadrant, but its inclination with y-axis is given as alpha. Please remember that. Okay. Now, already I told, if inclination of the force is with respect to x-axis, its x component is in terms of cos, y is in terms of sine. Whereas this 14 Newton is in fourth quadrant. Its inclination is with y-axis. Then its y component is in terms of cos, that is 40 cos of alpha, and x component is 40 sine of alpha. If you don't want that, then you have one more alternative. And that alternative is, don't consider angle made by 14 Newton with y-axis. You can consider its angle with respect to x-axis as 90 minus alpha. Okay. So if it is 90 minus alpha, x component of 40 is what? 40 cos 90 minus alpha. And y component is what? 40 sine 90 minus alpha. And 40 sine 90 minus alpha is nothing but 40 cos of alpha. And whatever x component I am saying, that is 40 cos of 90 minus alpha, it is nothing but 40 sine of alpha. What it indicates? It indicates that either our angles are with respect to x-axis or with respect to y-axis. It is just related work. You have to practice for both. That is inclination with x-axis as well as inclination with y-axis. Don't rely only on one. Okay? Then look for that solution. As the resultant of three forces is vertical, this is one given condition. As the resultant of three forces is vertical, what it indicates? It indicates that our resultant doesn't have x component. That is, summation of fx equals to 0. Our resultant is not having x component. Please remember that. The summation of fx equals to 0. Okay, now look for that. If summation of fx equal to 0 is indirectly hint given to you. So take resolution of forces along x-axis. So number one is 40, that is plus 40. X component of another 40 is what? 40 sine of alpha. 40 sine alpha. Please remember that. And x component of 80 is what? 80 cos of alpha, but 80 cos alpha is to the left. That's why minus. So 40 plus 40 sin alpha minus 80 cos of alpha equals to 0. Now everything is perfect now. Hello students.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are from which division?
B.
B. Division A students. A. Now it's okay. Good. So, okay, fine. So 40 plus 40 sin alpha minus 80 cos of alpha equals to 0. Then divide by 40, and this 80 cos of alpha term, if you are taking on right hand side, what equation you will get? 40 plus 40 sin alpha equals to 80 cos of alpha. Then by dividing with 40, what answer you will get? 1 plus sin alpha equals to 2 cos of alpha. 1 plus sin alpha equals to 2 cos alpha. This is one equation. By squaring both sides of our equation, now our trouble is, if both sides are in terms of sine or in terms of cos, very easily angle alpha we can work out. But LHS is in terms of sine, RHS is in terms of cos, so 1 plus sin alpha equals to 2 cos of alpha. Then by squaring both sides of equations, what will get? 1 plus sin of alpha bracket square equals to 2 cos alpha, again bracket square. So what answer you will get? 1 plus, just expand this LHS, 1 plus 2 sin alpha plus sin square alpha equals to 4 cos square alpha. 1 plus 2 sin alpha plus sin square alpha equals to 4 cos square alpha. Then next step, 1 plus 2 sin alpha plus sin square alpha equals to 4 into bracket, you may be knowing that cos square alpha plus sin square alpha equals to 1, and hence cos square alpha equals to 1 minus sin square alpha. And in that way, you have to apply here. I have used this strategy. If you have some trigonometrical function with you, or if you have some different tricks or ideas with you, accordingly you can find out angle alpha. So 1 plus 2 sin alpha plus sin square alpha equals to 4 into bracket 1 minus sin square alpha. Just if you are simplifying this, you will get 2 sin alpha plus 5 sin square alpha minus 3 equals to 0. So 5 sin square alpha plus 2 sin alpha minus 3 equals to 0. So this is what? X square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So it is a quadratic equation. And if you are solving this quadratic equation, and now look for that here, up to 12, what you are doing? X square plus bx plus c equals to 0. If that equation is given, then how you are finding x? X equals to, I think you are writing minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, like that. Don't remember that formula, not required. Directly with your scientific calculator, you can solve such type of equations. Just you have to go in equation mode. There are linear equation, quadratic equations are coming. Place for quadratic equation. In this quadratic equation, first constant comes, second constant comes, third constant comes, and when you are pressing next, automatically 2 values you are getting, because every quadratic equation is having 2 roots or 2 values. One is plus, second one is minus. Plus answer you have to consider for our calculations. And in that way, angle alpha equals to 36.86 degrees you will get. So when angles of inclinations of 80 and 40 Newton respectively with x and y axis are equals to 36.86, you will get your resultant along y axis. So that is the statement of the problem. And friends, what I did here, 1 plus sin alpha equals to 2 cos of alpha, by using trigonometrical formulas, geometrical rather, I have converted cos in terms of sine. If you have some other ideas, you can try that ideas. Another idea is there, don't go for that idea, because your answer must be related to geometrical base, and with perfect understanding you have to work out. If we know everything, and then if you are jumping, that we can understand. So what another jumping is there? Directly by your scientific calculator, answer for 1 plus sin alpha equals to 2 cos of alpha is possible. You don't have to take help of geometrical formulas, nothing. Directly, if you are inserting this formula in equation mode, automatically you will get answer for angle alpha. It's good. Okay. So somehow you have to find out angle alpha. So alpha we have calculated. Then again I will read this question. 3 coplanar forces acts at a point on the bracket. Determine angle alpha, which you have seen, such that resultant of 3 forces will be vertical. Now what I have to do? I have to work for calculations of the magnitude of the resultant. Then summation of F1 equals to, then 80 Newton is having y component, which is 80 sine of alpha, it's downward. 40 Newton is also having downward component. It is 40 cos of alpha, because angle is with respect to y axis. So from that angle, this problem is very important, because one angle is with respect to x axis, second angle is with respect to y axis. So whenever angles are with respect to x and y axis, what exactly is to be done, that idea you will get from this problem. Okay. And because of that reason, in past 2 to 3 question papers, same problem was repeated. So summation of F1 equals to R1 equals to R equals to 80 sine of alpha downward, that's why minus. 40 cos of alpha downward, that's why minus. So minus 80 sine alpha, alpha is 36.86. Minus 40 cos of alpha, alpha is 36.86. Substitute these 2 values there, you will get answer as minus 80 Newton. Minus answer suggests that it is downward. So summation of Fy equals to 80 Newton downward. So this is y component of the resultant, and since x component of the resultant is 0, y component of resultant itself is final resultant, and that equals to 80 Newton. Okay. So now look for that here. This is one of the most interesting problem related to concurrent coplanar force system. Once again, in brief, I will explain this problem. Three coplanar forces acts at a point on the bracket, determine the angle alpha such that the resultant of three forces will be vertical. Also find the magnitude of the resultant. Three forces are given. Angles are already provided in the problem. You have to find out x and y component. You can mark, you can do this. If you don't work directly, also we can work out. I have worked directly. One important understanding is available in this problem, and that understanding is angles are always not with respect to x-axis. They may be with respect to y-axis also. Then first step of solution is, as the resultant of three forces is vertical, summation of fx equals to 0. So plus 40 sin alpha minus 80 cos alpha equals to 0. By simplifying, we will get 1 plus sin alpha equals to 2 cos of alpha. By squaring both sides of our equations, we will get 1 plus sin alpha square equals to 2 cos of alpha square. So by expanding this, 1 plus 2 sin alpha plus sin square alpha equals to 4 cos square alpha. 1 plus 2 sin alpha plus sin square alpha equals to 4 into bracket 1 minus sin square alpha. Next thing, 2 sin alpha plus 5 sin square alpha minus 3 equals to 0. Same equation can be written as 5 sin square alpha plus 2 sin alpha minus 3 equals to 0. By solving this quadratic equation, we will get alpha equals to 36.86. And then summation of Fy equals to itself is y component of the resultant, or maybe your final resultant are equals to 80 sin of alpha downward, that's a minus, 40 cos of alpha downward, again it is minus. And simply what you have to do, magnitude of alpha you have to substitute, and by substituting alpha value, you will get answer as minus 80. And minus 80 Newton suggests us that it must have downward as the direction, and hence the final resultant or y component of the resultant is 80 Newton having downward as the direction. Okay, now look at that. This is another problem related to concurrent coplanar force system. Here, all these three problems are completely different. Yesterday, one problem was solved in which you have calculated complete resultant. Everything related to component of forces was given. Whereas, just now you have seen one problem, that this problem in which direction of resultant was given. Angles were not given. So this is second style. One more style we have to discuss here. Carefully look for that. Find the force F4 completely so as to give the resultant of the system of forces as shown in the figure. Please remember, F1 is given, it is in first quadrant. F2 is given, it is in second quadrant. F3 is given, it's in third quadrant. There is one more force, F4, which is not given. F4 is not given. Please remember, F4 is not given. But to find out that component, resultant of these forces, F1, F2, F3, and F4, which is not given. Resultant of these four forces is given, and that is the resultant 800 Newton, which is in fourth quadrant. Please remember that. Please remember that. It's the most important category of the problem. So, as usual, all components you have to resolve. So, F1 is 400 Newton. Yesterday already I told. Inclination of that force with x-axis is 45 degree. Its x component is 400 cos 45, y component is 400 sin 45. For F2 300 Newton force, inclination with x-axis is 30 degree. That is 300 cos 30 and 300 sin 30. For F3, inclination with x-axis is 60 degree, 500 cos 60 and 500 sin 60. Forget about the resultant, time being. Then, there is one more force. Don't consider 800 Newton. 800 Newton is final answer, resultant. In this problem, answer is given and data is incomplete. Sure, every problem is having some different twist. In this, one component force is missing. In place of that, final answer is given. Answer is given, but some data is unknown. And that data you have to work out. So, first step, resolve given forces into their x and y component. 400 is resolved, 300 is resolved, 500 is also resolved. Then there is one more force, and that force is F4. How many possibilities are there? Total 4 possibilities are there. Force F4 maybe in first quadrant, maybe in second, maybe in third, maybe in fourth. This is unknown. Then what you have to do? You have to assume somewhere. You can consider it in first quadrant, you can work it in second quadrant, third quadrant, or maybe fourth quadrant. You are completely free. You are completely free. You decide what you have to do. But personally, I feel that whenever you are calculating unknown force, always assume its location in first quadrant. So that at least for prima facie, some benefit is coming. That x component I can consider along positive x-axis and y component I can consider along positive axis. It's simple. So accordingly, imagine that fourth force is in first quadrant, and accordingly along x and y axis you might have seen that there are horizontal and vertical component. Horizontal component for F4 is F4 suffix x, and vertical component is F4 suffix y. And in that way, F1, F2, F3, and F4 are the 4 components of single resultant force which is already given in the problem. Okay, now one by one I will use. Let F4x and F4y be the components of force F4. Okay, so all these components I have calculated here. Then for these 4 forces, resultant is in fourth quadrant. It has 2 components. One is x component 800 cos 50 and y component is 800 sin 50. Then next, take algebraic summation of forces along the x-axis. So look for this step. First force is 400. So 400 cos of 45. Its x component is right plus. For 300 Newton, 300 cos 30 left minus. For 500 Newton force, x component is to the left, 100 cos 60 left, that's a minus. And unknown component is there, that is F4x, F4x. This is algebraic sum of x component of forces. Answer of that is given. Answer of that is what? X component of the resultant. And since resultant is given, already I have noted there, x and y component of the resultants are 800 cos 50 and 800 sin 50 respectively. So this step is equal to 800 cos 50. Actually, in rest of the problem, you are working to calculate 800 cos 50. in this problem that answer is given. Answer is given, some data is missing, and that missing data you have to work out. So by solving this equation, you will get F4x answer. And this F4x answer is 741 Newton. Answer is positive. Positive. That's why to the right. Exactly in same way, proceed for summation of F1. Same thing. Again, I'll start with 400. 400 sin 45 upward. 300 sin 30 again upward. 500 sin 60 downward. That's why minus. And F4 we have assumed in first quadrant. Its y component is F4y. F4y. This algebraic summation of y component of forces is equals to y component of the resultant. And y component of the resultant is what? 800 sin 60. This 800 sin 50 is upward or downward? Downward, that's why minus. So minus 800 sin 50. And this minus 800 sin 50 is equals to algebraic sum of y component of forces that are already written there. Solve this and get F4y, F4y. After solving this, you will get F4y answer with minus sign 612, 612. This minus sign indicates that y component of the resultant is never upward, or it's not upward, it's downward. So friends, F4x you have seen, F4y just now you have seen, F4x is to the right, so here in that rectangular sketch it was shown, F4y is downward, x component of one of the force is to the right and y component is downward. It indicates that that force lies in fourth quadrant, and accordingly one line in fourth quadrant is marked. That line in fourth quadrant is nothing but your missing force, that is F4. And then this F4 equals to square root of F4x square plus F4y square. F4x already have calculated 741. F4y you have calculated, that is 6.2. Substitute, get the answer. You will get answer equals to 961 Newton. Not only that answer, its direction is equally important. So theta equals to tan inverse F4y divided by F4x. Just substitute the magnitude and automatically you will get angle theta equals to 39.5. Okay, so please remember, always problems are not straightforward. Some twist is available. So friends, yesterday, day before yesterday, one problem related to concurrent was solved. Today we have seen two more problems related to concurrent, but all these three problems were completely different. But with this, at least you will get idea that yes, I can solve problems related to concurrent because all these problems are of different variety. Okay, so based on that, you have to solve problems related to concurrent. Okay, now there's one more problem related to concurrent. Please concentrate on this problem because this problem was already asked in several question papers. Very much interesting problem. Okay, so now is there any problem? Hello, division A, division B, division B, division B.
No,
Are you
sir.
attending or not? So now everything is okay? You can see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good, good. Now, please concentrate on this problem. And sometimes, again, if you are able to understand, already I have forwarded PPTs in your WhatsApp group. Again, on my Google Classroom also, these PPTs are uploaded. Same problems are there. read each and every problem, and I will suggest that please write these problems in your notebook, because all these problems are really very standard problem. So please work out on this problem, and these are very standard problem, and based on this problem, some more problems you have to work from your side. So, okay, now look for that. Total 3 problems related to concurrent we have seen. Out of these 3 problems, first problem was very straightforward, very straightforward. Second problem having some twist, that was geometrical twist. Third problem was also having one algebraic trick we can say. Please look out. For solving this problem, mastery in concurrent is required, and subjective knowledge related to geometry is must to attempt this problem. To move a boat uniformly along the river at a given speed, the resultant force R equals to 520 Newton is required. We have to move this boat. To move this boat along the banks of the river, 2 ropes are available. One is force P, second one is force Q. With this rope, you are applying the force and you are moving along the bank of the river, and that boat is moving horizontally along the path of the river. That scenario is. Forces applied are P and Q with an angle 30 and 40 degree, which are provided in this sketch. And these forces P and Q you have to apply in such a way, because if force P becomes maximum, boat will turn up in that direction. If force Q becomes maximum, boat will turn along with that side, or it will strike to that bank. That boat must move exactly at the center, That care also you have to take. And then resultant must be maintained that equals to 520 Newton. So what you have to do? Number 1, determine the forces P and Q in the rope such that theta 1 equals to 30 degree and theta 2 equals to 40 degree. Okay, number 1, theta 1 equals to 30 degree, theta 2 equals to 40 degree. Resultant is already along positive x-axis, so Rx equals to R equals to 520 Newton. Then, in this case, resultant is already along x-axis, that's why its y component is what? 0. That you have to analyze, that you have to understand. It is not given in the problem. Exactly similar type of one more problem already you have discussed. So based on that line, you have to solve this problem. Resultant force is already along its axis, hence its y component is 0, so Ry equals to 0. And that benefit you have to take, that y component of the resultant equals to 0. Okay, now, only 2 forces you are applying. One is force P, second one is force Q. R is the resultant. R is not a force. R is the resultant of P and Q. Please mute yourself. Okay, fine. So this force P and force Q you have to resolve along x and y axis, or along x and y component. So x component of P is what? P cos of 30. Y component is P sin 30. You have to be very fast, very quick in this. Don't wait. How P cos 30 is coming, how P sin 30 is going, how Q cos 40 is coming. So you have to be very perfect, very fast, and your understanding must be very perfect. So look for that. This angle 30 degree is denoted by letter theta. Angle 40 degree is denoted by letter theta 2. So your summation of Fy equals to 0 will be P sin theta 1 minus Q sin theta 2 equals to 0. Are you having lecture after this? No? Because this problem will take at least 10 minutes. Okay, so I can continue. Okay, fine. Summation of Fy equals to 0. P sin theta 1 minus Q sin theta 2 equals to 0. Substitute values of theta 1 and theta 2. You will get one equation, and that equation is P equals to 1.285 Q. This is value of P in terms of Q. Then Summation of fx equals to x component of the resultant, which is nothing but complete magnitude of the resultant. Summation of fx equals to rx equals to r. Take the x component of forces, p cos of theta 1 plus q cos of theta 2 equals to 520. Simply, what you have to do? Magnitudes of theta 1 and theta 2 you have to substitute. And hence, your equation becomes p cos 30 plus q cos 40 equals to 520. Value of p in terms of q, already you have seen, there is 1.285 q multiplied by cos 30 plus q cos of 40 equals to 520. Just this q is taken out of bracket. Then this equation is unknown in terms of 1. By solving this equation with your calcium, you will get magnitude of q equals to 276.69 Newton. Substitute this q in upper equation, which is p equals to 1.285 q, you will get answer of p equals to 355 Newton. So in that way, magnitudes of p and q's we have calculated. Once again, concentrate on this because second part is very complicated. Again, I will repeat something. To move a boat uniformly along the river at a given speed, a resultant force R equals to 520 Newton is required. Number 1, determine the force P and Q in the rope such that theta 1 equals to 30 degrees and theta 2 equals to 40. Sketch is given. Part A of the problem is theta 1 30 degree, theta 2 40 degree. X component of the resultant or final resultant is 520 Newton. Y component of the resultant Ry equals to 0. Summation of Fi equals to 0 will be P sin theta 1 minus Q sin theta 2 equals to 0. P sin theta 1 is 30 degree equals to Q sin theta 2 is 40 degree. So P equals to 1.285 Q. This is value of P in terms of Q. The summation of Fx equals to X component of the resultant equals to R. P cos of theta 1 plus Q cos of theta 2 equals to 520 because 520 is already acting along X axis, or it is given along X axis rather. So P cos of theta 1 plus Q cos of theta 2 equals to 520. Cos theta 1 is cos 30. Cos theta 2 is cos 40. Substitute value of P, which is calculated in terms of Q, and then equation becomes unknown in terms of Q. Solve this, you will get magnitude of Q. Substitute this Q in upper equation, you will get answer for Q. So friends, to move this boat with resultant force as 520 Newton, the forces in the ropes which are applied at 30 degree and 40 degree along the axis of the river will be 355.7 Newton and 276.69 Newton. What is second part of the problem? Second part is very important and much knowledge, technical knowledge is required to attempt that. If theta 1 equals to 30 degree, we are not changing. Find the value of theta 2. Find the value of theta 2 such that force in the rope Q is minimum. What is the minimum force Q? Look for that. First part was straightforward. Everything was given, and to satisfy that condition, some unknown forces P and Q's you have calculated. In second, something related to that you have to do. But in second part, it is stated that theta 1 is 30 degree, no doubt. Theta 2 is unknown. And that theta 2 you have to calculate such that force in the rope Q is minimum as possible. Same work you have to do. with different style. And in that, what magnitude of force Q comes, that also you have to work out. Look for that. Theta 1 is 30 degree, theta 2 we don't know. X component of the resultant, final resultant is same. Basic conditions are same, 520 degree. Then summation, as usual, summation of Fy equals to 0. So P sin theta 1 upward plus Q sin theta 2 downward minus equals to 0. So P sin theta 1 minus Q sin theta 2 equals to 0. P sin theta 1, magnitude of theta 1 is given, that is 30 degree, equals to Q sin theta 2. So P equals to 2Q, because sin 30 is 0.5. If it goes on other side, it becomes 2. So P equals to 2Q sin theta 2. Theta 2 is not 40 degree here. Theta 2 you have to calculate, so that force in that rope must be minimum as possible. At the angle of 40 degree, what force is applied, that force is given. But what we are doing, instead of applying force P at 40, force Q at 40 degree, you are finding its inclination such that instead of applying that big Q, we can manage this work with smallest Q. Same style again. Summation of Fx equals to Rx, P cos theta 1 plus Q cos theta 2 equals to 520. Answer 520, that is resultant answer is the same. P cos of theta 1 is 30, P cos of 30 plus Q cos of theta 2 equals to 520. Then magnitude of P, just now you have seen, that is 2Q sin theta 2. Cos 30 is 0.866 plus Q cos of theta 2 equals to 520. Both term contains Q, take Q out of the bracket, and in bracket what comes? 2 sin theta 2 multiplied by 0.866 plus cos theta 2. So Q equals to 520 divided by this answer. 2 into 0.866 comes as 1.7. जसा ऐकायचं, everything is perfect here. From my side, there is no problem at all. And PPTs are in front of you. All these PPTs are uploaded to you also. Check that PPT and read out that. These are all numerical problems that you have to understand. From my side, everything is perfect here. So Q equals to 520. This another term which is in terms of theta 2 that I have collected and I have taken on one side and that I have considered as a denominator. This 2 multiplied by 0.866, that answer comes as 1.732. So 1.732 into sin theta 2 plus cos theta 2. Then it is asked that our Q should be Q minimum. That is one condition. Hence, for Q equals to Q minimum. Now look for that here on PPT. This is very difficult to explain. Mathematically, for anything must be minimum, its derivative with respect to that variable equals to 0. Why this is applicable? In short, I will explain, but real understanding is not possible because graphically I have to explain. Just imagine that there is one curve drawn in first quadrant. X-axis is given, Y-axis is given. Any curvature, parabolic curvature, if I am marking. For every curvature, 2 points are there, topmost point and bottommost point. At bottommost point of the curvature, if I am marking one tangent line, this tangent line is always horizontal at the bottommost point, always at the topmost point. This bottommost point if I am considering and tangent if I am marking, it is horizontal. What it indicates? It indicates that at bottommost point, slope of that tangent is 0 because slope of horizontal line is 0. So slope of horizontal line is 0 and this is tangent to that curvature. So what exactly you have to do? So derivative of that value with respect to given variable must be equal to 0 because slope of that line equals to 0. So this equation dq divided by d theta or d theta 2, this is nothing but slope of the tangent equals to 0. So just what you have to do in that expression, whatever variable term is available, just you have to take derivative of that variable term, and this derivative is d by d theta 2 into bracket 1.732 sin theta 2 plus cos theta 2 equals to 0. So 1.732 sin theta 2, its derivative is 1.732 cos theta 2. Derivative of cos theta 2 is minus sin theta 2, that equals to 0. So now look for that here. Take sin theta 2 on another side. You'll get tangent of theta 2 equals to 1.732. And from that, get magnitude of theta 2, so theta 2 equals to 60 degree. And just what you have to do, this theta 2 magnitude, you have to substitute in upper equation, and upper equation which is unknown in terms of theta 2. And when you are substituting that, you will get q equals to 520 divided by 1.732 multiplied by sin theta 2, that is sin 16, plus cos theta 2, that is cos 16. And after solving this, you will get answer equals to 260 volt. This 260 Newton answer, if I am comparing with this Q, that is 276, so look for that here. In first part, angles were given. So for known angles, the magnitude of Q you have calculated was 276. But in second part, it was asked, calculate same thing. Calculate same thing, but that Q must be minimum as possible. And because of that reason, out of two angles, one angle was missing. First angle was 30 degree, no doubt, but second angle theta was not 40 degree. That also you have worked, and that angle is 60 degree. So if you are applying force Q at an angle of 60 degree, then force in that wire is minimum as possible, and that minimum answer equals to 260. So henceforth, please remember, whenever you have to find out anything minimum or anything, and this rule is applicable for both minima as well as maxima. So anything which is minimum or maximum, at that point, slope of the tangent is equals to 0. So dq divided by d theta 2, that equation is nothing but slope of the tangent, and that equals to 0 is written, and the slope is written, and according to that expression you got, and with that you got answer theta 2 equals to 60 degree. And that theta 2 was substituted, and with that you got q equals to, that as the final answer, which is your minimum answer. So friends, such type of problems are coming. Always problems are not straightforward. Always some mathematical break is given or some geometrical ideas are involved. So you have to be very perfect. Whenever you are solving problems at home, don't solve monotonously similar type of problem. Always take next problem with some variation, because you have to practice for varieties of problems, not similar type of problem. Similar type of 10 problems you are solving, or 20 problems you are solving, or 100 problems you are solving. It becomes just practice, just practice. But from knowledge-wise is concerned, there is no gain as such. Okay? So, if you want knowledge gain, definitely what you have to do, you have to attempt varieties of the problem. And friends, we are trying from our side, but definitely due to this online conduction, online work, uh, uh, the best possible and trying, and because of that reason only, all these PPTs are already forwarded to you. So by chance, sometimes for some, and sometimes problems are from our side, sometimes these problems may be from your side. Problem of net is not only for me, it is for you also. So it is not win-win situation. It is is a lose-lose situation, we can say. Okay, so sometimes you have to bear with us, and we are dealing with two divisions. So at a time, whenever we are completely concentrating deep in this work, so sometimes you have to bear if some voice or something like that, and when it comes, sometimes some problems are coming. So please bear with us. Still, day by day, we are trying to work on these problems. Uh, I hope that very soon our offline lectures will start, where you will not find any difficulty, and we are also very comfortable in offline lectures. Okay, this mode is neither comfortable to us or for you. But anyhow, some space constraints are there, some situation constraints are there. So now we have to bear with such type of constraint. Now you might have heard another constraint that very close to our college, small village is there, and some marriage function or parties going on. So that is also one more disturbance. Okay, that price hindrance you might have heard. So anyhow, we have to bear with all these things. Okay, friends, all the best. And today I'll stop this meeting. Okay, fine.